Tamara here, nice of you to join me, and a very warm welcome to my channel. It's lovely to have you here with me today. In today's video we are going to start the tutorial for the Bloom and Grow album that I have shown you an overview on my channel over the recent days. So this is my second entry into the Graphic 45 brand ambassador call for 2024. So this is the tutorial for that. Just a few little housekeeping things before we go on with the video, and that is please do subscribe to the channel. It really does help my channel grow and I appreciate it greatly. I really do. Don't forget to like as well as hit the notification bell. And if you want the PDF cutting guide for this project, then head over to my Facebook group Memories Paper Art and you will be able to download the free PDF from there. All of those links will be in the description box down below, so please don't forget to check that out as well. So let's get on with the video. Now I am just going to go ahead and cut out all my pieces and we can go through different things as we're cutting. Now I will say don't worry about where I've put my stars on my PDF, that is just a prompt for me. So where it says either cut 2 or cut 3 or cut 4, I'm only going to cut 1 because I've already cut out those pieces already, just so that it saves a little bit of time as we are going through, but you will obviously need to cut out all of it. So let's start with the hinges. Now the grey board covers and the spine, I've cut them out already only because my trimmer that I used to cut that is in a different location, so I haven't cut them yet, but I will do. So we're going to start with the cardstock with the hinge mount, and that is going to measure 6 inches by 7 3/4. Now I'm using my black cardstock here, and it is a 220 GSM, and it's a really matte finish cardstock, so it's really good. So let's cut the hinge mount at 6 inches by 7 3/4, and I will write on here what they are so that you can remember, and I do write the size as well. So I'm just going to put that into my little project box there. So keep all your scrap bits apart from little tiny bits like that, but I tend to put those ones in another little pile. So as I go through, I am going to tick that I've actually done them. So, and I've ticked the wrong one. It's a good start, Tamara, good start. So hinge 1 is going to be 3 3/4 by 7 3/4, and I can use this part here. So 3 3/4. I'm just going to double check that, and good job because I hadn't cut this one down. So this is the hinge mount, hinge 1, and it is 3 3/4 by 7 3/4. Okay, I'm going to turn this over and we're going to work on this side because I'm going to go through as I'm cutting them. If they need score lines, I'm going to do my score lines as we go through. So you might need to pause this video and just get out your scoreboard if you haven't got one of these trimmers with the scoring tool included. So for hinge 1, we're going to first of all score at 1/2 inch. Okay, remember, score not cut. Then we're going to score again at 1 inch. And then we're going to go to 1 3/8, like so. And then we're going to jump all the way up to 2 3/8. Then we're going to score again at 2 3/4. and then at 3 1/4. Okay, and then that's all your score lines done. So grab yourself either another piece of card, or if like me you've got tons of scrap card. So for hinge 2 we're going to cut this at 3 inches by 7 3/4 again. Now I'm going to write on there what page it's from, the element that it is, and the measurement. Now turn that over, and we're going to score this at 1/2 inch. And then at 1 inches. Then we're going to jump all the way up to 2. And then we're going to go 2 1/2, and that's it for those ones. So that can go in there. So that's hinge 2. So now we need the pages. Now you will cut out 4 lots of these. I'm just going to cut the 1. So you'll need a part A and a part B. So I'm just going to grab 2 together. I've got 2 here, and I'm going to cut these first of all at 8 3/4. Yes, so part A is 8 3/4 by 7 1/4. But I'm just going to do 1 cut less, because what I've done is I've added my 2 sheets of card together, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut this one down to 7 1/4, like so. And then one of these is going to be part A, pages 8 3/4 by 7 1/4. And then the other one, I'm just going to cut this one down to 7 3/4, and that's on the 8 3/4 side. Like so. And this is then going to be part B, and it's 7 3/4 by 7 1/4. Okay, you will obviously go ahead and do your other 3 for those. So that's those done. So now you need your pull out photo mats. So these ones are the pull out of the pocket. So these ones are the pieces of paper and card that come out of your page pockets. Now I've cut them. They are a little bit longer than what these ones are, because I added a punched border along here. If you want to do a border, then you'll just cut that bit off and then cut them down to size. So they are going to be 7 1/2 by 7 1/2. And you will need to do 4 of those. And you will need to cut 4 of those. So I'm just going to add that to my little bundle there. So now we're working on the inside, front and back cover. Again, I'm only going to cut 1 of these, but you will cut 2 out of them. So you'll need a base page. So your base page is got to be 8 by 7 3/4. 7 3/4. And again, I'm just going to write on there inside covers, and that goes in my box. So again, tick that off. So now we need a pocket flap, and that's going to be 7 1/2 by 5 inches. So let me just check if I've got any offy cuts. So 5 inches by 7.5, and you'll get both of them out of one sheet of cardstock. Okay, and don't forget we have some score lines to do on this. And we're going to score along the long edge at 1/2 inch. Like so. And then put that with the rest of your little bits. And then we're going to do the acetate covers. Now again, these will be able to take out of your scraps. And these are the acetate connector covers. I'm going to call them connector covers. And we need that to be at 7.5 by 1 inch. But little tip here. I'm going to score and then cut. So I'm going to do my 1/2 inch cut. Sorry, my 1/2 inch score. And then I'm going to cut it at 1 inch. Doing it this way, it means you get a nice even cut and score line. If I was to do it separately, it would be a bit different. So let's do it we'll cut it down to 1 inch and then score it at 1/2. And you'll see it will not be, would you credit it? Actually, no, this is, if I put my hand there, you'll be able to see that that is just a little bit out, like so. Regards to this one, that is nice and flush. Okay, so just a little top tip. So you'll need to do 2 of those, and that's those. And then you need your belly band closure, and that's going to be 2 inches by 7.5. Again, use your scraps. Now if you've got one that's just under 2 inches or just over, don't worry too much. As I say, it's just a guide. So once you've cut that, we're going to do our score line along the short edge at 1/2 inch. Okay, like so. And then I'm going to write on here, belly band 2 by 7.5. And now for the acetate. So you should be able to get both of your acetates out of the one sheet, and this is going to be cut at 7.5. I'm going to go 7.5 by 4.25. By 4.25, like so. And then keep this bit here because you may need that later on. I've cut now 2, but you only needed 1. Well, you needed 2, I only needed to cut 1, but I think I was showing you. So I'm going to just stick that in there because I could use that for another piece. So then you need to do the side flaps. Again, the side flaps will be able to get out of your scraps here. And you'll need to cut 4, and I'm only going to cut 2 at 2.5 by 4.5. That's 1, and that is a bit too short. So we're going to go with 4.5 by 2.5. Okay, and then these have all got score lines on, so along the long side it's again 1/2 inch score line. I nearly cut it by mistake. So, and then you would need to write on there inside covers, side flaps. Now I would write on all of those. Then the tags. Now I'm not going to cut the tags out because you can use what scraps you've got at the end. So I'm just going to put a little circle around those to know, so that I can see that I've not cut them yet. So, and that one there. So now we can move on to page 1. And you're going to do a pocket at 5.5 by 8. Now, is that, can I get, yeah, so that's 8 by 5.5. And these have got score lines on, and they're going to be scored along all 3 sides. So 2 of the shorter sides and 1 long side. Like so. And then I'm going to write on here pocket page 1, and it is 5.5 by 8 inches. Okay. And I'm going to put that in my next piece. So that is that. So now we need an acetate connector covers again, because we've got the acetate on there. So if you've got some spare, and we're going to score this at, so you'll need to cut obviously 2 of these at 1/2 and then you score at 1/2 and cut on the 1 inch, and this needs to be 7 inches. Like so. So that's 1, and I'll do another one. Let's cut this down to 7, and then we'll go 1/2 and then 1, like so, and then that goes in my box. So that's that. Now we need some more acetate, and that is going to be 4 3/4 by 7. So 4 3/4 by 7. I will just double check. Yes. Okay. So again, the tags. I'm not going to cut the tags out. You can cut them out with whatever scraps you've got left, but you have then got some sizes there if you want to use them. So I've just put a little circle around those, so no, I've not done them. Okay, moving on to pages 2 and 3. Again, you're going to have to cut 2 of these out. I'm only going to cut the 1 because I've done mine already. So you're going to start with the belly band, and that's going to be 8 3/4 by 3 1/4. Page on the long side first at your 3 1/4. And then turn it round and do the 8 3/4 inch measurement. And then you're going to just score on both short edges at 1/2 inch. Like so. Okay, and then you will write on here belly band, page 2 and 3, and then I'm just going to pop that into my little paper clip and tick that off. Then you've got the belly band tuck. So look at what scraps you've got, and we're going to cut this 3 inches. I'll get that right. 3 inches by 4 1/4. And you would get 2 of them out of that one piece there. And then we're going to score on both short sides, 1 long side. Okay, like so. And that is belly band tuck, 3 3 inches by 4 1/4. Okay, put that in there. Then you've got your tags. Again, I'm going to keep the tags until the very end and then cut them out of my scraps, but you've got some measurements there if you want to use them. So moving on to pages 4 and 5, and again 2 of everything, and I'm going to cut the one so the mini pocket, you'll need this at 2 inches by 8 inches. And I might have, yes I do, 2 inches, no 8 inches by 2 inches. And you're going to score the 2 short edges at 1/2 inch and 1 long side. 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. And just write on there page 4 and 5 mini pocket. And it was 2 inches by 8 inches. And that goes in the next part. So next is the acetate connector covers, and again you're going to cut 2 of these at 7 inches by 1 1/2. So I'm actually going to do my 1/2 inch score first. I'm just going to turn that round and then I'm going to cut down to 1 1/2. Okay, you will have a large piece like so, but that is meant to be like that. So page 4 and 5 covers in there. So that's them. So now we're on to the acetate. Now I have got a little bit left here, so we are going to cut this down to 3 1/2 by 7, and that is just at the right size. And I've forgotten to do my other one, so I'm going to do that one now, and this one is by 7 anyway. So that's your 2 acetate covers in there. And again, your tags here as well. Do them at your leisure. Okay, moving on to page 6 now. Now you've got a choice to make with this page. Now if I just bring in the album to show you. So on page is 6, just 2, 4, 6, yeah, 6 and 7. These are what they look like in the book. Now on page 6 I've just got a flap type closure that comes over, and then you open these out here with your pull out photo mat in your pocket. Now you can make this into a flap instead of a pocket. That's a really good thing to do, so you could do that. So you could have page 6 and page 7 the same. It's up to you. But on page 7, what I've done is I've used some of the offcut acetate as a little belly band type closure that's got magnets in here. That snap closed. And then lifting this flap up, I've also got an acetate window in there that you can pull out and put photos in. So that's the 2 different pages you can do. So you can either do 2 of this and none of that, 2 of that and none of that, or like I've done 1 of each. And so page 6 we need to do a pocket right flap at 3 1/2 by 7 1/2. Now I've already cut mine out here, and then what you need to do is you need to give yourself a 1/2 inch score line along that long side there. So that's going to go into this page here. and I'm going to tick that off that I've done it. Then we've got the pocket flap on the left, and this is going to be at 4 3/4 by 6 1/4. So I'll just check if I've got any here. Oh, I can just get away with that there. And then we're going to score along this 4 3/4 of an inch side, so the longest side at 1/2 inch. That there's going to give you your flap over. So pocket left, and this is 4 3/4 by 6 1/4, and this is page 6. Okay, in there. So now we do the closure flap, and this is going to measure 4 3/4 by 2 1/2. So 4 3/4 by 2 1/2. And this has also got a score line on the short side at 1/2 inch, like so. And this is closure flap, 4 3/4 by 2 1/2, and then that goes in my pot. Mark it off. Then we've got a pocket. So the pocket is 6 inches by 8 1/2. So I'm going to do my 8 1/2 one first. Down there by 6 inches. And then this will have score lines on 2 short sides and 1 of the long sides. And that's at 1/2 inch as well. Like so. And then I'm just going to write on here, page 6, pocket, 6 by 8 1/2. That goes in there. And then you've got your tags here as well. So again, little mark around there because I'm not going to cut them out on camera. So moving on to page 7. Now page 7, as we showed earlier, we're going to need to cut this out at, so the pocket flap right is 3 1/2 by 7 1/2. And you've got a score line on the long side at 1/2 inch. So I'm going to put here page 7, pocket flap right. Okay, and then I'm going to put that in my pot there, mark that off. And then your pocket flap left is 5 3/4 by 6 1/2. And you're going to have some score lines on, this is going to be scored on the short side at 1/2 inch, like so. Just checking I've got that correct. Yes, because that's my flap over. So pocket flap right. I think I've got this wrong. Pocket flap left. Page 7 goes in there. So now we've got the pocket. Now for this pocket we've got a part A and a part B. So you need to cut part A at 6 1/2 by 8 1/2. So 8 1/2 first. 6.5, and you'll have score lines on 3 sides at 1/2 inch, on 2 short sides and 1 long side, like so. Just checking that is correct. Yes, because it's going to go downwards, that's right. Now we've also got a 3/4 inch frame to 3/4 inch frame, 1 inch frame, I believe. Let me just double check. Yes, it's a 1 inch frame around this one. So 1 inch frame that goes around this pocket, but I'm not going to cut that out just yet. I'll wait until we come to put the page together. The page 7 pocket, and it is 6.5 by 8.5. So that goes in there. So that's my part A. So part B is 5.5 by 7. So let's bring this in. So 5.5 here by 7. And I think I forgot to write part A on my pocket bit. Part B, back pocket, and that is 5.5 by 7. So that's my 2 pieces for that. So again, cut them off. Then you've got some tags here, and now you've got some acetate end caps here. Now they need to be cut out of your pattern paper, okay, not your cardstock. So I'm not going to cut them out, and I'm not going to cut our tags out. So the acetate closures, you can use just what scraps you've got left from your acetate already to cut them out. So I've got them down here as 1.5 by 5. But whatever you choose to cut your acetate closures at, what size, you need to adjust your acetate end closures on there. I'm just trying to get a piece of acetate here. So we've got 1 inch. Well, sorry, 1.5 inches. I don't know why I said 1 inch. 1.5 inches down like so by 5. And again, this doesn't really matter too much down the side here. You could have this at 6 if you wanted. It's entirely up to you. I'm not going to cut them down just yet. I'm going to leave them as it is. So that's then the acetate flap closures. Then you've just got your acetate that goes in your frame, and that's going to be 5 by 7. So that's my 7, and that's just under 5, but that should be okay. And that goes in there like so. So just circle around them so I know I've not done them, and around that so I know I've not done that. So now we're moving on to the last page that we've got to cut, and that's page 8. So we've got a large belly band for this, and this is going to measure 8 inches, so by 5. And we've got some score lines to do along the 2 short edges at 1/2 inch, like so. And then belly band, page 8, 5 inches by 8 inches. That's it. So that's my page 8. That's going to go just there. What have I got? So page 8. So then we've got mini pockets here, and we need 2 of these, and they are going to be cut at 5 1/4 by 4 3/4. Again, if you've got some offcuts, please do use them. Like so. And this is going to be cut at 4 3/4 by 5 1/4. And we're going to score these on the 2 long sides and 1 short side. 1, 2, 3. Now these are going to have a 3/4 inch frame cut out of them, but again, when we come to do page 8, I will cut them out then. So mini pockets, page 8. So I just need 1 more to cut out for that. So 4 3/4 by 5 1/4. And both long sides, and that goes in there as well. So that is those. Then you've got a tag stopper. Now the tag stopper is the little thing that's at the bottom, and that's got to be at 2 inches by 3. But again, it doesn't matter how wide you go. I wouldn't go less than 2 inches though. And you're going to score this in half at 1 1/2. Okay. And then that goes in for, I'm going to put their tag stopper, page 8. Oh, and that just goes in like so. And then again, you've got the tags to do. Then the last thing we've got left to do is the snap closed booklet at the front of our cover. Sorry, at the front of our book. And that's going to measure 8 1/2 by 6 1/4. So just checking whether I could get it out there. So 8 1/2 by 6 and I guess it's 6 1/4. And then we're going to score it. I've actually put here on the long side, it should be on the short side. Score it along the short side at 4 1/4. Like so. And then that's your booklet for the front of your book. Okay, so that is all our measurements all cut out, be made into something beautiful. So go ahead now and cut out all your tags, and when we come back we will start to assemble our album. Okay, let's put our book together. So I'm using the foundation tape method to put my book together, and I've also got some of my gap guides as well to help with my spacing between my cover and my spine. Now this is a really quick and easy way to construct your albums, but if you prefer doing the cardstock method, then you go ahead and do that now. I've got a 1/4 inch gap in between my spine and my hinge in case you want to know. So on this one, you're just going to unreel or unwind your tape, and then I'm just going to put my cover half on, half off of my tape. Now I always have my tape hanging off the end of the table. I find it gives me a bit of a resist and pulls the tape out straighter. So I'm going to put my gap guides, and that goes along the top of my right hand corner there, and then this one is going to go along the bottom like so. Then you're going to get your spine, and you're just going to fit your spine in between those lines like so. When you're happy, just burnish that down a little bit with your fingers. Now to take it off, I just run it over the side of my table and then just pull up. And the same on this one, I just pull it up very gently and they come off really easy. And then just pull that over, and I had a little bit of a resist so that I pull it taut, and then bring in the one up that you've still got attached to the reel. Get your scissors and just cut the excess bit off. Now I have overlapped them probably about 1.5 inches like so, and just pull that up taut and then burnish down. So that is one side. So do exactly the same with the next. So I just unreel another lot, and then half on, half off, gap guides over the top and over the bottom like so, and then we're going to put the cover on. Okay, just burnish that down, pull them off, and again, and then pull that taut over that so that that's nice and level at the top. Now in here you can see I've got a few little creases, but if you use your bone folder or your Teflon tool, you can iron out those creases like so, and then just push them over. Then this comes over, and again give yourself a little bit of an overlap, pull up taut and then push down. Okay, then what I tend to do is just use my finger just to really get the two pieces of the tape stuck together, okay, in between that join. Okay, don't worry if you go through it with your finger, then just put another piece of your foundation tape over the top. I'm going to push that down. So next we're going to cover the long sides. Now to do the long sides, this is how I do it. I take my tape and I unreel a little bit, enough to cover all the way across. I have a little bit of an overhang like so, burnish that down onto the card, onto the grey board, okay, and then I'm going to cut that bit off there, and then I'm going to fold it over this way just so that you can see what I'm doing. So now I've got a sticky side up, I'm going to roll my album up onto the top, give it a little wiggle so that you're getting that tape stuck to the very edge. Wiggle, and then just roll it over, and then you'll find that they will stick together. Now there are lots of different ways on how you get your ones on your tape onto your cardstock. I find this way is the easiest for me, the easiest and quickest. So what I did there is I just cut off the excess on either side like so. So now we're just going to repeat that, but on the other long side. I always tend to do my long sides first and then do the short sides last. Like so. Bring that over. A little wiggle. And then roll it back on itself. Like so. Cut off this excess. Now you're cutting it off as near to that chipboard as you can. Now what I also like to do is just burnish the tape so that it really does stick to that grey board, and I will do it on both sides like so. Okay. And then also along the top, I like to burnish along the top so that I get a very square edge rather than a rounded edge, like so. You don't have to do this part, I just like the look that it gives. Okay, so now for the sides. Now for the sides, I do this a little different. Now I'm just unreeling enough to go along my side, but instead of putting it onto my grey board, I'm going to put it along the top, like so. And just with your finger, I'm just going to go along that edge now. You can see that how that is on, like so. Then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to mitre those corners. So that's 1 and 2. Now mitering up to that corner of the grey board, like so. Now that one's not as neat as I would like, but this one, again, we're just going to mitre that down. So I'm finding the corner with my scissors, and you've kind of created an arrow. And I've just taken off all the excess off my scissors. Okay, and then when you're happy, we're just going to push down. So I'm going to push down from the middle and then all the way to the end. Okay, if you've got a little bit that is just that you haven't cut off, just cut it off with your scissors there. Then we're going to do the same with this side. And roll it along, and then angle and angle and then angle and angle that side, and then push down like so. I'm just going along the edge just to really get that tape stuck to the grey board. And a few little creases in that, but I love ironing them out with the tool. It does really work. That is my inside there. So I'm having the inside of my book where I have my joins. So that is our book. Now as you can see, it is still quite flimsy and doesn't stand up. So what we need to do is we need to bring in our hinges and our spine mount. Now the spine mount is going to go along the spine just to give it a bit more strength and stability. So with this, I'm going to put on here a 1/4 of an inch gap or a line just along the bottom here, and then a 1/4 of an inch along the top here. Oh. Okay. There and there, and then these should fit in between, and they do. There we go. So to attach them, we need some double-sided tape. Now I use double-sided tape and glue, so I put my tape along the side of the join, okay, like so. I've probably got too much on there. Now you don't want to come past your lines here, because you don't want your tape to show. So that, and then along here, like so. Now that one's probably a little bit too far down. Just pull that up and cut that bit off. There we go. So once you've done that, we're going to now put our tape on all 4 corners, sorry, 4 sides of your spine mount. That's 1. 2. 3, and then 1 more. 5. Okay. I'm going to quickly just burnish these down. Like so. Go up and up. Like so. And then we're going to take the tape off of all of our pieces, or all of our components, like so. And I am going to tidy up as I go along. I've got a little bag here that's got all rubbish in it. And take the tape backing off of your spine mount as well. In like that. Then grabbing your glue, so the glue is just going down the sides and just over that tape as well, because what that'll do is going to give you some wiggle room, and it'll also help your piece stick right now. So I'm not putting any in the middle, I'm just putting it all the way around. And then I'm going to line my bottom up with the top, like so, and try and get it as level as possible. And when you're happy, just stick down and then just push your hands over so that it really does stick. Now I am going to use my bone folder just to really do get that glue stuck down. As you can see, I've got a little bit of seepage at the top, but it will come off. There we are. Next, I'm going to use my ruler and I'm going to just put it in between that join there, and use my ruler as a resist so that you come up nicely, and then you'll get a nice straight crease. So do it this side as well, like so, And then once you've creased them both, give them a little wiggle, and you can do a wiggle as well, and then it's nice and straight. Okay, and if you want to, I'm just burnishing that down just in between those joins as well. Okay, so that is your album near enough completed. As you can see, that's a lot more stable and it's not as flimsy. So putting in our hinges. Now the hinges, this particular hinge is the extendable hinge. So we've got a hinge at the top here that allows our pages to sit more flatter than what they would if you just had the normal hinge in there without that. Now I haven't folded anything. The only fold lines I've done are, how I do it is I count down. So if I angle it this way, you can see. So I've got one here, 1, 2, 3 score lines on each side. I'm going to score this, I'm going to fold the second score line down, and then on this side again the second score line down. And I'm just going to burnish those first of all. Okay, next I'm going to fold this first score line on both of those sides, fold them over, and then just run your Teflon tool over them like so, and then I will fold it back on itself as well. So we've still got these score lines here, but don't worry about them, they're just there as a guide. So bring in your hinge number 2 and do the same thing, just fold over those score lines and then just burnish them down, and again fold over, burnish again, and fold backwards and burnish again. Okay, so we fold them back over like so. Now I'm going to glue all the way over that side. Can you see that's your 1 inch gap? So I'm going to put quite a bit of glue on here like so. Just run some up the side. Okay. And then you've got those 2 score lines. This is going to fit perfectly in between that like so. Put that over, just seeing if I can see both score lines. Push down. There we go. If you get a bit of glue seepage, just use your finger or your nail just to wipe that away. When you're happy, I'm going to burnish this down. Now I might have a bit of glue come out the end. No, not as much as I thought. So that is then your hinges on. Now next, what I like to do, especially if I'm using the extendable hinge, I like to mitre my corners, because I'm going to have a pocket page. Now I don't mitre my corners if I'm just going to have a single page, so not a pocket page. So say your cardstock that is just going to fit onto your hinge, I don't mitre my corners, I keep them square. So, but because all my pages in this book are pocket pages, I'm going to mitre them, because if you don't, the pages are sized exactly the same size as your hinge. They won't fit on. But if you mitre the corners, it slips over nicely and it will stop at your first score line. Okay, so mitre. So all it is just a tiny angled cut, and again on that one, and again on that one. I just by eye them. I don't measure them at all. It's you're not going to see them. It's just to help you get your pages on. So that's all of them mitered. So next what I need to do is work out my sizing for my hinges here. So I've got a half an inch, I think I've got a half an inch gap in between this side here and this side here. So I'm going to get my ruler and I'm going to go off of this line down here. It's just there, so I'm going to go from that line and just, I think it might be 3/8 actually. I'm going to do a 3/8 line first of all and go from there. If it's any more, I can then add more. If it's less, I can take it away. So I'm doing a 3/8 of an inch gap from my join here and my join on the other side. So one there, like so. And then your hinge is going to fit in between those lines, like so. And then hopefully they'll be straight. Now, lining up your bottom here and your top, and then you should get a nice straight hinge. Now I'm putting my glue all the way over the back here, plus those extra score lines that we did. Okay, so I'm lining it up, making sure I'm in between my lines. So once you've lined them up, we're just going to burnish that down just to get that glue spread out underneath that hinge, because we want the hinge to be as sturdy and as stuck down as it can possibly be. Right, so push that down again and that again. Now I have got my pencil marks here and I'm just going to rub them out like so, and I'll rub them out on this side as well. Just push them off of the table, and then that is your book ready to be added your pages to. Inside front cover now. So let me just move my trimmer out of the way, and I'm loving this paper. I absolutely love it. The colours are just phenomenal. They really, really are. So I've got all my pieces here that we've cut out, and we can start with putting them all together. So what I tend to do now is I'm going to go through my elements and put my pattern paper on. But first of all, my side flaps, I'm going to cut them down to 4. They were 4.5, but they were just slightly a little bit bigger. So then we've got our big tag and our little tag as well. I'm going to just put them over there for the second, so we can then start to assemble everything. So I'm going to put my base page down first. So that's going to go on like so. And again, I'm just using glue. And then this is going to go with the 8-inch side facing upwards. Like so. Just going to bring that up a bit and push that down, and then just give that a burnish just to spread that glue out. There we go. So now we can go out and put our pocket on. Now it's not going to go right to the bottom. We are going to have about 1/4 inch either side, just all the way around, like so. So let's put this on. and put in, and then just burnish that down. Like so. Okay, so that is that on like so. So we've now got the acetate pocket, but I'm going to put that on yet. We're going to put our belly band on now, and you need to work out where you're going to have it. So I had this one more to the right, so this one I may have more to the left. So I'm going to bring it into about there. You have to have a think about what image you're going to put on the front. So I may put this Sea is Calling one, or Make a Splash. I might put Make a Splash. So I want it probably more to the centre of my page. But any of those would be beautiful. I think I'll go with the landscape one because I went more portrait with that one. So add the glue. Now the glue is going on, I'll move back over, onto the mountainside fold, and I'm just going to put that so that the fold is on to the top of your page. So where you've put your base page, that's where you want your fold to be in line with, like so. Stick that down, and burnish it down. Bring in my bone folder just to squidge out any glue and squidge that along. There we go. Now on this side I've actually rounded my corners, so I'm going to carry on that as well and round the corners on my belly band, and I'll also round the corners of my side flaps as well, because they're going to go on next. Now the size that I'm using is the 7mm one, like so. So just take that off for a moment. Open those out. There's no point rounding these corners because they're going to be covered anyway. So your side flaps really need to be in line with your flap here, so that when you close you can't see them, and probably about 1/4 of an inch up from the glue tab that's already down there. So just put some glue on that. Bring that over and just burnish that down. And that's one. And then bring in number 2. I'm just going to move that over a little bit. It's not. There we are. Didn't look level. So bring this one in. And just going central, in line with the glue tab here at the bottom. And then bring it down just a touch, like so. And then I'm just going to close that up just so I can't see it at the top. And it is, just needs bringing over a little bit. There we go. There we are. That's nicely in line. Like so. Brilliant. We've got it. So that's the elements done that we need to, apart from now we've got our acetate. Now I use my double-sided tape for this only because it is so much easier. Now I don't know what I've done with that. So I put my double-sided tape on the inside of your acetate connector. and just burnish that down really well. Now I'm going to put this underneath my flap. So take that off, bring this in, and get your actually we'll do it this way. So the side that hasn't got any double-sided tape on, just put over the top of your pocket. Get it in line with the sides, and then just push down like so, and then push it down from the back. That way you'll end up with it in the correct position, like so. Now I am going to add some tape on here, but I'm not going to put my acetate on just yet. I am actually going to cover this first, and then we can then put the acetate on. So pick which paper you're going to use. I'm just going to use one out of the patterns and solids. Now you could go with exactly the same as what you've got on the back, but I'm going to go a little bit different, so I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to cut my paper to 4 1/4 by 7 1/4. So I'm going to do my 4 1/4 first. Like so, and then that fits in there just nicely, like so. So I'm going to ink my edges like we always do. And it's just a touch, just around those edges. You can't really see it, but when I hold it up, you can't see any of that white core. So add your glue. And we can then attach it like so. Bring it down. There we are. Okay, so now I need to find what I've done with the acetate. There it is. I was going to say I need to find what I've done with the acetate. So now the acetate can go on. Now you need to make sure that it's not coming past the bottom here, that it is up just a little bit, so maybe in line with your patterned paper rather than in line with the cardstock. Okay, once you've got it nice and level and even all the way around, just push that bit over. So I've taken the tape side off of my double-sided, and then that's taped it underneath. So we're just going to add another piece of tape just on the underside here, so that it can attach then to the pocket or the flap. So I'm going to give that a nice burnish down, like so. And there we are. And then we're going to push that over and bring it down, and then that is your acetate pocket, nice and tight. Okay, like so. So give that a burnish, and then that's one part of your piece done. So you can go ahead and either do the back. Now what I did on the back of this one is I added some photo mats here. These are 4 1/4 by 3 1/4, which fits just perfectly inside there. And then I just did a strip of paper there, but you could put a border there. That would look really, really nice. So I've just got some purple cardstock that I've had for years. This is the Coordinations one, I think. And I'm using the smooth side, not the the textured side. So we're going to cut 2 of these out. So by 4 1/4. That's 1 and 4 1/4. That's 2. There we go. And then they're just going to fit nicely on there. Now you could add some little stickers. They would look really nice on here as well. When I come to do my finishing touches, I will put the stickers on and things, just to add a little bit of embellishments. So when you're happy, stick that down. Have I got it a bit over that side? There we are. And then again, just line it up with the bottom and the top. There we go. Lovely. Okay, I've just cut this bit now to go in the centre there. So this I cut just a smidge more than a half in there. So it's just a smidge more than half by 4 1/4 on there. So I'm going to break down the top part here. So I'm actually going to do 2 because I want my paper to go all the way along, whereas if I do it from here I'm going to be in just a little bit. So I want to just measure that quickly. So that is going to be 7 1/2 by 3 5/8. So 7 1/2 by 3 5/8. And again, I'm just going to use one of the patterns and solids. So I don't want to use that on the back. I'm going to use it here as well. I think that looks really nice. Like so. And then that can go in there. Like so. And then it goes all the way across. So bring that up. We can put that in. There we go. Like so. So now you've just got this bit here. So I'm going to just rub out these pencil lines. Like so. And we'll just measure this bit here. So this is going to measure 4 by 7 1/4. So 4 by 7 1/4, and then that's going to go that like so in there. So I'm going to put it so that it is centralised between these 2 points here. So let's just put that on. Try and get it as straight as possible. Put that across. Like so. Now you can put a little border along there if you want to, but I think I've got that kind of straight, so I'm not going to bother. I think that looks alright. And then they go through, and then that kind of comes down like that. But what I have forgotten to do, oh Tamara, is put a magnet on. Okay, I've forgotten to put a magnet on my piece. So I'm actually going to have to try and attach it to my acetate, because I think everything here is already stuck. So instead of me having to take it all apart, we'll put the magnet on the acetate, or I can put it underneath. Right, I might actually put a photo mat there and then put my magnet under that. So let's have a look what that looks like. So I'm going to go with a 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. And let me just have a look what that looks like, because that's going to have to go there. I'm going to have to turn it this way. So I can fit it in just there, like so. And then that can come down. So I'm going to keep that. So that is, I can either have it centralised. I think I might have it centralised to the belly band like that. I think that looks a lot better. So, magnets. So this is a good thing that I've forgotten, because now you can see that you can rectify it. So bring in your tape, and we're going to put the magnet, we're going to put it underneath, okay, like so. It's going to go there. So I've just put it underneath, and then I'm going to add one on the top. Sorry, not on the top, on the bottom, with the sticky side down, facing down, so it looks like this. So if you followed my channel for a while and watched any of my videos, I always have the sticky side up, and then that way when you push it down, it's going to stick to your page like so. But that's not, we don't actually want it there, we want it underneath. So I'm going to take that out, get some more sticky tape. I'm going to put the sticky tape, sticky side up again, get my magnet, let it find the stick, and then push down. Okay, like so. And then you can take this one off then, because I don't need this one now. And that should be then in the right place. And then if you want to add just one more on the top here, just to give it an extra oomph, then you can. So take that off, and then we can start to just put this in place. So let me put my glue underneath. And lift it all up. And then we can start to position it. So now we've just got we've got a big photo mat which goes there, and then this small one is the one that fits underneath like so. So I'm going to use this paper again on my belly band. So this belly band measurement was 1 3/4 by, I think it might have been 6 3/4. Okay, so I'm going to cut it across. So 1 3/4 by 6 3/4. 6 3/4 is there. And then that's going to fit on my belly band like so. Let's just round them corners while I remember. I remember to do that. and then add our glue. Just put a little bit around your magnet, and then we can stick this on. So that's one side. Now you can go and do the other, or you can wait and see what offcuts you've got left. So I might use this on here as the inside. So 1 3/4 is there by 6 3/4. I know this is going to be the wrong way, but I'm going to use the back side of that to fit on there. Add it on. There we go. Moving on to the small tag that goes in our acetate flap, and you're going to cut this down. So I'm going to do 3 of these, and they're going to be 2 1/4 by 3 1/4, like so. And you're going to do 3 different lots. So 1, and that's 2, and you'll need 1 more. Hopefully that's, oh, look at that, exactly. And then this one can go on the edge, so you can have them in the middle, so you can have your mermaid scales in the middle and the pearls on the outside, like so. So let's ink the edges. Like so. And what I tend to do is I'll do the 2 outer ones, and then I'll do the middle one, because then you get the correct distance and width between them all. Like so. That one, and then put this one in the middle. Again, ink. And then this one can go in here. Like so, and then you get that nice width either side. And then on the back I would just cut out my purple cardstock, again at the 2 1/4 by 3 1/4, and I would stick them on exactly the same way. So you could even have 2 like that, and then have a pattern paper piece in the middle, and then just to be a bit different, piece your photo mat to go in your pocket, like so. Let's work on the focal point of the page now. And I was going to use the Make a Splash. I don't want to cut this part here because that's a part of a border. So, and I want to use these borders. So let me just move that down a bit. There, so that's my Make a Splash. and that's going to go on my front like so. And I'm going to leave a little bit of this part of my belly band showing so that I can use that as a pull tab type thing. What I didn't do on this one, which I wish I had, is patterns the back. So I'm going to show you, all I'm going to do is pattern piece that in and save that bit of patterned paper. So I'm going to do the same on this one. So I'm just going to find out what the size is. So I'm going to do, for the purple, I'm going to do it at 4 inches by 5 1/8. But I am going to take off a tiny bit off this side so that I can get my 5 1/8. Yes, 5 1/8. But as I rounded the corners on that, I can round these ones. And because these haven't got like a frame around it, it will look okay. Because normally if you round them and they've got like a frame, a square or a rectangle frame with your right angled points, it can look a bit dodgy. So I've kind of left it. I'm glad that this one hasn't got a frame. So just ink in those edges, and then we will cut them out. Just checking 4 by 5. No, it's 5 1/8. I think it was 5 by 4. If it isn't, I can recut it down. And I just wanted a tiny border. That's all I wanted of the purple. So I'm going to round those corners so that they match. And then we can put this one on like so. And add my glue. And push down and around. And then you've got a nice 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. Just of that. Now the next one I'm going to do at a 1/4 inch, so this needs to be at 5 3/8 by 4 1/4, and that's your black cardstock. So 5 3/8 by 4 1/4. And I'm just going to double check. Yes, that's lovely. So again, round those corners like so, and then glue it on. Now you can also add some foam tape to give you some height and dimension, but I'm not going to on this one. But you could pattern piece these as well and lift these up, your little shells, which I may do when I come to embellish it. So let's add this in. Now what I'm going to do with this is I turn it over. So I don't turn it this way, I always go up ways. Position it where I'm going to have it, and then I'll put my glue on around like so. And then I need lots of glue on this. Oops. Just added a bit there by mistake. Then I'm going to just position it where I think it should be, and then I'll lift it up and just make sure I'm not coming, I haven't got any glue seepage out of there. Make sure it's nice and straight. And then what we'll do is we will pattern piece in between these here. So I'm going to make this at 1 3/4, sorry, 1 1/2 by 4 1/8. So have I got, I can use this piece here. So 4 1/8. Sorry, 1 1/2. I'm going this way. By 4 1/8. Where are you? 4 1/8. There. So that's one piece. That goes on there. And then this one is going to measure the same, 4 1/2. Oh, that's good. By 4 1/8. Can I get it? Can I please, please? Yay, just. That was a bit of luck. So then that goes on like so. And then it just looks like you've patterned the whole of that back. Like so. And saves on more on our card, on our precious pattern paper. So add that on. And again. There we are. So that's then patterned that. So we'll do the same. I'll do the same with the back, but I won't do that on camera. So the only thing left we've got to do now is our big tag, and that's going to fit in our front pocket like so. What I did with this one is I added my purple cardstock as my photo mat, and then I just used a strip of the pattern paper on the top. So I'm going to do the same with this. So I used, so I did 5 1/4 by 7 1/4, like so, and then I went this way, so I think I can fit it in. Yeah, so this way I'm going to go, so this one must be smaller for some unknown reason. But that way works as well, so we can have it going down. I think I cut this down too, that's what I did. I actually cut this down a small tiny bit so that I could have my tag in going landscape. But I'm going to do this one on the portrait side so that you've got the choice of either having a portrait photo or a landscape or a portrait. So we're going to do that, but what I may do is just cut this down to 7 1/4. So I'm going to cut off 1/4 inch like so, so that I've got a nice 1/4 inch border all the way around. And I'll do the same with the back. And I am actually going to put it on the opposite side. So that gives you a nice big photo mat to use. Like so. And then like so. And then we can do, we just measure this bit here. And this one is going to be, I'm going to do it at 1 5/8 by 7 1/4. So if you've got another spare sheet of paper, which I have, which is this one, which I'm gonna I don't know whether to use or not. No, I'm going to use this one. So this is going to be 1 5/8. I'll do another one at 1 5/8. That's the other side. By 7 1/4. And 7 1/4. If I need to cut any more off, I can. Like so. Bring these back in. And that's going to fit just nicely on there. So, quick ink. And this goes on. And then this side. And then this goes on like this here. And stick that on. Then I've got a nice 1/4 inch gap going all the way round. And then that's your photo mat in there. And that is your first pieces done. That's it for part 1. Please join me in part 2 where we'll be doing pages 1 and 2. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like and comment. It really does help my channel grow. All the information is in the description box down below. Thanks again for watching. Whatever you're doing and wherever you are, please have the most amazing day. And I will see you on the next one. Bye! Like so.